For each Azure Fundamentals concept, drag it to the appropriate description in the correct match column. Each item may be used once, more than once, or not at all. Provides a platform for deploying applications and managing infrastructure in the cloud. Azure Cloud Platform includes services ranging from web hosting to virtual machines and AI. Azure Services Scope enables hands-on experience with Azure without cost or long-term commitment. Azure Sandbox, designed to help users learn about Azure's services and governance tools. Azure Fundamentals Learning Path allows users to build and manage solutions from simple websites to IoT services. Azure Services Scope offers foundational cloud training without requiring technical IT background. Azure Fundamentals Learning Path. Let's now explain each of these answers to understand why they are correct. To begin with, Azure Cloud Platform is chosen for providing a platform to deploy applications and manage infrastructure. This is because it is the core framework upon which services and workloads run in the cloud, just like you would use a physical data center, but entirely virtual. Next, Azure Services Scope is matched to descriptions involving a range of services, including web hosting, virtual machines, and AI. This match fits because it reflects the broad array of services Azure offers, from infrastructure to advanced technologies like machine learning. Then, Azure Sandbox is selected for enabling hands-on experience without cost or long-term commitment. Think of this as a temporary playground where learners and professionals can explore Azure without worrying about bills. After that, Azure Fundamentals Learning Path is matched to the phrase about learning Azure's services and governance tools. This path is structured for beginners to grasp the basics of Azure in a manageable, progressive format. Similarly, the learning path is also chosen for offering foundational cloud training without requiring technical background. This makes Azure accessible even to people transitioning into tech careers. Finally, Azure Services Scope again fits the task of building and managing solutions from websites to IoT, because this reflects how Azure scales from basic apps to complex architectures. By understanding these links, you not only get the answers right, but also build a solid foundation for working with Azure in real-world scenarios. Arrange the phases of cloud computing adoption in the correct order. Instruction: drag and drop the items into the correct order, starting with the first step at the top. Identify computing service needs. Choose a suitable cloud model, public, private, or hybrid. Select a service model, IaaS, PaaS, or SaaS. Begin provisioning and scaling based on demand. Now that we've gone through all the steps and answers, let's take a moment to explain why this order makes sense. To start, every organization must identify its computing service needs. This is foundational. Before making any cloud decisions, the business must understand what it's trying to achieve, whether it's hosting an app, improving storage, or increasing scalability. Once needs are clear, the next logical step is to choose a suitable cloud model. Here, the organization determines whether a public, private, or hybrid cloud approach fits best based on factors like data sensitivity, regulatory compliance, and cost efficiency. After choosing a deployment model, it's time to select a service model, such as Infrastructure as a Service, IaaS, Platform as a Service, PaaS, or Software as a Service, SaaS. This step defines how much control and responsibility the business wants over the infrastructure and application layers. Finally, the business can begin provisioning and scaling based on demand. With everything in place, the organization is now ready to deploy services and adjust resources dynamically as usage grows or shifts. This step-by-step sequence helps ensure a structured, efficient, and strategic adoption of cloud computing. Fill in the blanks by selecting the correct options in the drop-down menus. The consumption-based model is considered an OpEx approach because users pay for what they use rather than buying hardware up front. Let's now take a moment to explain why these answers are correct. To begin with, the consumption-based model refers to a pricing strategy where customers are charged strictly based on their usage. Just like how your water or electricity bill works, you pay only for what you consume, not a flat rate. In cloud computing, this model makes perfect sense because resources can be scaled up or down based on demand. Now, this model aligns with OpEx, which stands for operational expenditure, That means instead of making large upfront investments in hardware and infrastructure, known as CapEx, you spread costs over time as services are used. It's like renting equipment rather than buying it. Conversely, options like the subscription model or reserved instances don't reflect real-time usage. They rely on fixed fees or prepaid commitments, which is why they don't fit here. Also, while pay-as-you-go sounds similar, it's more of a billing term, not a financial classification. So when organizations choose cloud services, they often adopt this OpEx-based, consumption-driven approach to stay flexible, manage budgets effectively, and avoid upfront hardware costs. Azure Fundamentals includes which of the following features? Select one answer. A, high-level tutorials with no access to Azure. B, interactive learning with a temporary Azure environment. C, advanced certifications and role-based exams. D, free lifetime Azure accounts. The correct answer is B, interactive learning with a temporary Azure environment. Let's now go through why this is the best choice. Azure Fundamentals is designed to give learners not only theoretical understanding, but also practical experience. That's why interactive learning with a temporary Azure environment is included. Microsoft provides us a sandbox environment where you can try real Azure services without needing a paid subscription, making it perfect for beginners. Option A, high-level tutorials with no access to Azure, doesn't apply here. The course isn't just tutorial-based, it's hands-on. Learners engage directly with the platform. Option C, advanced certifications and role-based exams, refers to what comes after Azure Fundamentals. This foundational course prepares you for those, but doesn't include them. And option D, free lifetime Azure accounts, is incorrect because the sandbox environment is time-limited. It gives temporary access only during specific learning activities. So the key takeaway is Azure Fundamentals builds your skills through hands-on experience, not just reading or watching videos. What two features are typically managed by the cloud provider in a platform-as-a-service model? Select two answers. A, middleware services. B, development tools. C, application-specific code. D, user credentials. The correct answers are A, middleware services, and B, development tools. Let's walk through the reasoning behind this selection. In the PaaS model, the cloud provider handles more than just the infrastructure. It also manages the environment developers work in. That includes middleware services, which act as the glue between operating systems and applications. For example, database connectors or message queues are often managed for you. Next, development tools such as software development kits, SDKs, application frameworks, and integrated tools are also managed by the provider. These tools help streamline development without the need for customers to install or maintain them. On the other hand, application-specific code is the responsibility of the customer. Developers write and deploy their own apps, which makes sense because cloud providers can't predict every business's unique logic. Similarly, user credentials are handled by the customer through identity and access management solutions. Even though the platform might offer tools for authentication, the responsibility to configure and manage user access lies with the organization. So in summary, under PaaS, the provider takes care of the platform environment, including middleware and development tools, while the customer focuses on coding and access management. Your company wants to quickly scale its application during a sudden marketing campaign spike and reduce infrastructure immediately afterward. What core benefit of cloud computing supports this? Select one answer. A, fixed monthly resource plans. B, elasticity and scalability. C, predictable capital budgeting. D, multi-region mirroring. The correct answer is B, elasticity and scalability. Now, let's break down why this is the most suitable choice. When you face sudden spikes in demand, like during a flash sale or marketing campaign, you need your infrastructure to adapt quickly. Elasticity and scalability are core benefits of cloud computing that make this possible. The system automatically adds resources to handle the load and scales back down when the demand drops, saving costs and ensuring performance. On the other hand, fixed monthly resource plans are rigid. They don't flex with your demand, some meaning you'd either overpay or underperform in dynamic situations. Predictable capital budgeting refers more to traditional upfront hardware costs, CapEx, which doesn't align with the agile nature of cloud scaling. And while multi-region mirroring improves availability and redundancy, it doesn't directly support rapid provisioning and deprovisioning of resources based on demand. So ultimately, elasticity and scalability give businesses the agility they need to respond to real-time changes, making them essential for modern cloud-based operations. Fill in the blanks by selecting the correct options from the drop-down menus. Microsoft 365 is offered in plans for nonprofits, educational institutions, and government organizations. Now let's walk through why these selections are accurate. Microsoft provides discounted and customized plans for nonprofits, recognizing the essential work these organizations do. These plans offer core productivity tools like Microsoft Teams, Outlook, Word, and Excel, enabling nonprofits to operate efficiently while keeping costs low. For educational institutions, Microsoft 365 education plans are tailored specifically for schools and universities. These plans support learning environments with collaboration tools for both students and teachers, allowing institutions to deliver modern, tech-enabled education. Meanwhile, government organizations require solutions that meet strict regulatory and security standards. Microsoft 365 for Government addresses these needs by offering services that comply with frameworks such as FedRAMP and meet high standards for data protection. On the other hand, options like browser extensions, API developers, or Microsoft Edge insiders are not relevant customer categories for Microsoft 365 plans. These might be roles or tools, but they don't represent targeted licensing segments. So Microsoft 365 ensures its services are accessible and compliant for key sectors, nonprofits, educators, and government agencies by offering plans built for their unique operational needs. Match each Microsoft 365 work management tool to its primary function. Each item may be used once, more than once, or not at all. Capture surveys, polls, and quizzes from any device. Forms. Organize complex project timelines and resources. Project. Manage daily personal tasks and reminders. To do. Schedule appointments with customizable booking pages. Bookings. Organize and track structured data with templates and formatting. Lists. Let's now go through each match to understand why it's correct. To begin with, Forms is designed specifically for capturing responses through surveys, polls, and quizzes. It works seamlessly on any device and is ideal for collecting data quickly and interactively. Next, Project is Microsoft's advanced project management solution. It helps teams plan and manage complex timelines, dependencies, and resources using features like Gantt charts and budgeting tools. Then we have To Do, which is perfect for managing individual productivity. It allows users to track daily tasks, set reminders, and break down work into manageable subtasks. Bookings makes scheduling easy. It lets organizations create customizable booking pages so users can reserve time slots for meetings, appointments, or services, with calendar integration included. Finally, Lists is used to organize and track structured data. It supports templates, views, filters, and works well within SharePoint and Teams for collaborative tracking. Meanwhile, tools like PowerPoint, OneNote, and Loop components serve other purposes: presentation, note-taking, and flexible content collaboration, but they are not designed specifically for work management. This set gives a clear picture of how each Microsoft 365 tool supports productivity through specialized functions. For each description related to the Copilot dashboard, drag the correct action to the correct match column. Each item may be used once, more than once, or not at all. Grants admins permission to enable Copilot features for users. Assign Copilot access. Tracks engagement and usage across departments. Monitor Copilot adoption. Shows productivity impact and collaboration trends from Copilot usage. View Copilot Insights allows modification of dashboard elements to suit organizational needs. Customize Copilot dashboard. Let's go ahead and explain the reasoning behind these correct matches. First, Assign Copilot access is about giving administrators the ability to enable Copilot features for specific users within their organization. Without this step, users won't be able to utilize Copilot functionality even if it's licensed. Next, Monitor Copilot adoption allows organizations to keep an eye on how well Copilot is being embraced. It tracks how often it's used and which departments are actively engaging with the tool, helping decision makers measure uptake. Then, View Copilot Insights helps leadership understand the value of Copilot. It provides data on how the tool is affecting productivity and collaboration, essential for justifying continued investment. Lastly, Customize Copilot Dashboard lets organizations tailor the dashboard view and layout. This flexibility ensures teams see the most relevant data for their role or department. While Microsoft Copilot Studio appears as an option, it's not used here. It's actually a development tool for building custom Copilot experiences, not for managing access or dashboards. So, each selected action directly supports a specific aspect of Copilot administration and analytics within an organization. For each statement below, indicate whether the answer is true or false. Copilot in Word helps you generate, summarize, and edit content in real time. True Copilot in Excel is designed to help create appointment calendars. False. Copilot in PowerPoint allows you to generate slide content using natural language prompts. Copilot in Outlook automatically deletes irrelevant emails. False. Let's walk through the reasoning behind each response. Starting with Copilot in Word, this statement is true. Copilot supports content creation by helping users generate drafts, summarize lengthy sections, and edit documents all within Word's interface. It's like having an AI-powered writing assistant built into the editor. Next, Copilot in Excel is false. While Copilot does enhance Excel, it focuses on data analysis, creating formulas, building visualizations, and summarizing trends, not managing appointment calendars, which falls under Outlook or Microsoft Bookings. Moving on to Copilot in PowerPoint, the statement is true. Copilot can convert natural language prompts like create a slide about quarterly revenue growth into actual slide content, saving time and making presentations faster to build. Lastly, the claim about Copilot in Outlook is false. It does not delete emails. Instead, Copilot helps summarize long threads, surface key information, and suggest draft replies, but users remain in control of what to keep or remove. So Copilot is smart, but it's not taking full control. It's enhancing productivity while keeping users in the driver's seat. Fill in the blanks by selecting the correct options from the drop-down menus. Clipchamp is used to create and edit videos in a browser, while Sway is used to design interactive web-based presentations. Now let's explain why these are the correct choices. Clipchamp is Microsoft's browser-based video editing tool. It allows users to create and edit videos directly in the web browser, complete with features like transitions, trimming, effects, and audio layering. This makes it ideal for quick content creation without installing dedicated software. On the other hand, Sway is a storytelling tool focused on web-based multimedia presentations. It lets users combine text, images, video, and embedded content into sleek, scrollable designs, perfect for reports, portfolios, and newsletters. Other options like Visio are meant for diagramming, not video or interactive media. PowerPoint, while great for slideshows, isn't optimized for web-based storytelling. Loop supports collaboration but doesn't offer media creation tools, and Word is designed for documents, not multimedia presentations. So Clipchamp and Sway serve distinct but complementary roles, one for video editing and the other for web-based storytelling. For each statement below, indicate whether the answer is true or false. Microsoft Teams provides a centralized space for collaboration, including chat meetings and calls. True, OneDrive does not support real-time co-authoring of documents. False, Microsoft 365 Copilot can assist in drafting emails and summarizing meetings. True, Microsoft Planner is an enterprise video platform. False, let's take a moment to explain each statement. First, Microsoft Teams indeed offers a centralized space for collaboration. It combines chat, video meetings, voice calls, and file sharing, making it a complete hub for teamwork and communication. So this statement is true. Next, the idea that OneDrive does not support real-time co-authoring is false. OneDrive actually allows multiple users to collaborate on the same document simultaneously in real time, especially when working with Office apps like Word or Excel online. Moving on, it's true that Microsoft 365 Copilot can help with drafting emails, summarizing meetings, and generating action points. Copilot integrates AI into your daily tools to boost productivity. Finally, the statement about Microsoft Planner being an enterprise video platform is false. Planner is a task management tool that helps organize and assign tasks within teams. It's not designed for video content. That role is better filled by tools like Microsoft Stream. Each answer reflects how these tools are positioned within the Microsoft 365 ecosystem to support collaboration, productivity, and task management. For each statement below, indicate whether the answer is true or false. Windows Autopatch minimizes IT disruptions by automating update deployment. True, co-management lets IT choose which workloads are managed by Intune or Configuration Manager. True, Configuration Manager cannot be cloud attached to enhance management capabilities. False, Microsoft Defender for Endpoint can trigger automated remediation actions. True. Let's now walk through the logic behind each response. First, the statement about Windows Autopatch is true. Autopatch automates Windows Update deployment, reducing manual effort and minimizing user disruption. It ensures updates are tested and delivered with minimal IT involvement, especially in enterprise environments. Next, co-management gives IT teams flexibility by allowing them to decide which workloads, like compliance policies or device configuration, are handled by Intune and which remain under Configuration Manager. This hybrid model supports a gradual move to modern management, so the statement is true. Moving on, the claim that Configuration Manager cannot be cloud attached is false. In reality, Configuration Manager can integrate with Microsoft Endpoint Manager via tenant attach, enabling cloud-based insights and management features like remote actions. Lastly, the statement about Microsoft Defender for Endpoint is true. This tool can automatically respond to threats using automated investigation and remediation capabilities, helping security teams act quickly on detected issues. Together, these tools create a powerful ecosystem for modern endpoint and update management, combining automation, cloud integration, and security. Arrange the servicing channels based on the frequency of feature updates, starting with the most frequent. Instruction: drag and drop the items into the correct order, starting with the channel receiving updates most frequently. Windows Insider Program, General Availability Channel, Long-Term Servicing Channel. Now let's explore why this sequence is accurate. First, the Windows Insider Program sits at the top because it delivers updates at the highest frequency. It provides early access to experimental features and frequent preview builds, allowing testers and developers to explore what's coming next in Windows. Next, the General Availability Channel comes in with moderate frequency. It receives stable, polished feature updates, typically on an annual basis, targeting the broader user base once features have been tested and validated. Lastly, the Long-Term Servicing Channel, LTSC, is designed for mission-critical environments where stability is key. It gets updates far less frequently, usually once every 2 to 3 years, to avoid disrupting systems like ATMs, medical devices, or manufacturing equipment. In summary, Microsoft structures these channels to balance innovation with reliability, offering options that suit both fast-paced testers and stability-focused enterprises. A manufacturing company wants to automate repetitive workflows like daily check-ins and equipment logs, while also giving employees mobile access to these tools. Select one answer. A. Use Power Platform tools in Microsoft 365. B. Install Microsoft Project Server. C. Set up Microsoft Loop Pages for logs. D. Use Office 365 without cloud integration. The correct answer is A. Use Power Platform tools in Microsoft 365. Let's break down why this is the best choice. The Power Platform, specifically tools like Power Automate and Power Apps, is designed to streamline and automate repetitive workflows. Power Automate enables the creation of automated processes such as check-ins and equipment log tracking, while Power Apps allows the creation of mobile-friendly forms and apps that can be accessed by employees on the go. Option B, Microsoft Project Server, is better suited for complex project planning and tracking, not simple, repeatable frontline processes. It's not designed for mobile workforce automation. Option C, Microsoft Loop, focuses on real-time collaboration and content co-creation, not structured process automation or log management. It lacks the workflow engine needed for task automation. Option D, using Office 365 without cloud integration limits functionality. Without cloud integration, you lose access to automation, real-time syncing, and mobile usability, key requirements in this scenario. So, if a company wants scalable, mobile-ready automation, the Power Platform within Microsoft 365 is the smart and strategic choice. Which Microsoft 365 plan best meets the needs of a university that wants to provide Office applications like Word and Excel, collaboration tools, and secure identity management for students and faculty, all while staying within a limited education budget? Select one answer. Microsoft 365 for Enterprise. B. Microsoft 365 for Education. C. Microsoft 365 Personal. D. Microsoft Defender for Endpoint. The correct answer is B. Microsoft 365 for Education. Let's look at why this option is the best fit. Microsoft 365 for Education is specifically tailored to meet the needs of academic institutions. It offers essential Office apps like Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, along with Microsoft Teams for collaboration. It also includes identity and access management tools, all bundled in an affordable package suitable for schools, colleges, and universities operating on strict budgets. Option A, Microsoft 365 for Enterprise, is built for corporate environments. While it offers similar tools, it comes at a higher cost and includes enterprise-grade features that educational institutions may not need. Option C, Microsoft 365 Personal, is intended for individual use. It doesn't scale for an entire school or university, and it lacks the administrative and collaboration controls needed for group deployments. Option D, like Microsoft Defender for Endpoint, is a security tool focused on protecting devices. It doesn't provide productivity apps or collaboration features, so it doesn't meet the university's core requirements. So, for broad access, academic pricing, and education-focused features, Microsoft 365 for Education is the clear and strategic choice. What does Microsoft 365 Copilot use to provide personalized, context-aware support? Select one answer. A. Microsoft Graph. B. Windows Task Scheduler. C. Azure Synapse. D. Bing Web Index. The correct answer is A. Microsoft Graph. Let's look at why this is the right answer. Microsoft Graph acts as the central intelligence that connects data from across Microsoft 365, your emails, calendar, chats, documents, and meetings. Copilot uses this data to understand your work context and personalize responses, making its suggestions more accurate and relevant. Option B, Windows Task Scheduler, is designed for automating system-level tasks on Windows, like starting a backup or launching an app at a certain time. It's unrelated to AI personalization. Option C, Azure Synapse, is a powerful data analytics platform, but is not directly used by Microsoft 365 Copilot for context-aware responses. Option D, Bing Web Index, is used for public web data in Copilot Chat, not for tailoring responses based on your personal Microsoft 365 data. So ultimately, it's Microsoft Graph that empowers Copilot to work like a true assistant, contextual, relevant, and integrated with your daily workflow. Which two Microsoft 365 tools are designed for creating and managing surveys and quizzes? Select two answers. A. Forms. B. Planner. C. PowerPoint. D. Word. E. Lists. The correct answers are A. Forms and D. Word. Now let's explain why these two tools are the best fit. Forms is the primary Microsoft 365 tool built specifically for creating and distributing surveys, polls, and quizzes. It allows users to collect responses, track performance, and analyze results in real time, making it ideal for assessments and feedback collection. Word, while mainly used as a word processor, can incorporate interactive forms content into documents. This allows teachers or teams to embed quizzes and distribute them through Word files while still capturing responses through Microsoft Forms integration. On the other hand, Planner is meant for task and project tracking, not form or survey creation. PowerPoint is presentation software and doesn't include features for collecting or analyzing quiz data. Lists is used to organize structured data like project items or inventory, but it doesn't support quiz logic or response collection. So, for quiz and survey functionality within Microsoft 365, Forms and Word work hand in hand to support both creation and distribution. Your company plans to test upcoming Windows features with a small group before wide deployment. Which servicing channel should they use? Select one answer. A. Long-term servicing channel. B. General availability channel. C. Windows Insider program. D. Preview ring. The correct answer is C. Windows Insider program. Let's walk through why this is the most suitable choice. The Windows Insider program is specifically designed to give early access to upcoming Windows features. It allows organizations to test pre-release builds in real-world environments, gather feedback, and evaluate compatibility, all before those features are broadly released. Option A, the long-term servicing channel, is for devices that require stability and minimal change over time, like medical systems or ATMs. It's not intended for feature testing or experimentation. Option B, the general availability channel, delivers fully tested and stable features after the pilot and preview stages. This is meant for broad, production-ready rollout, not for initial testing. Option D, preview ring, refers to a specific group or phase within a deployment plan, not a servicing channel. It organizes when updates are applied, not how they're delivered for testing. So if the goal is to test upcoming features with a controlled group before wide deployment, Windows Insider program is the right and strategic choice. For each advanced threat protection capability, drag it to the correct description. Each item may be used once, more than once, or not at all. Analyzes usage patterns to detect abnormal behavior. UEBA controls access dynamically based on context or signals. Adaptive access control links signals across email, identity, device, and SaaS for deep analysis. XDR integration provides custom reports for Microsoft Teams usage. Usage reporting. Let's walk through why each of these answers is correct. Starting with UEBA, User and Entity Behavior Analytics. It specializes in detecting unusual behaviors such as impossible travel, atypical sign-ins, or data exfiltration attempts. It's a critical capability for identifying insider threats or compromised accounts. Next, Adaptive Access Control ASI adjusts access permissions dynamically based on session context such as user location, device health, or risk score. It can grant, limit, or block access in real time, helping enforce conditional access policies. Then, XDR integration connects signals across multiple security domains, email, identity, endpoints, and SaaS apps to provide a unified view. This supports comprehensive threat detection and response, aligning all data into a full kill chain analysis within Microsoft Defender XDR. Finally, usage reporting is about analytics and reporting features. While it doesn't directly prevent threats, it helps organizations understand how tools like Microsoft Teams are being used and where improvements or security considerations might be needed. Other items like Security Copilot and Compliance Center are not correct here. Security Copilot is an AI assistant, not a dedicated threat protection feature, and Compliance Center focuses on regulatory compliance rather than active threat detection. So, these matched capabilities form the backbone of Microsoft's advanced security tools, each one playing a key role in proactive threat management. Match each data lifecycle management concept to its correct description. Each item may be used once, more than once, or not at all. Tools to retain content needed and delete content not needed. Data lifecycle management applies retention settings at site or mailbox level. Retention policies applies retention settings at item level. Retention labels keeps content forever or for a specific period. Retain only permanently deletes content after a specified time. Delete only retains content for a period, then deletes it permanently. Retain and then delete. Let's go ahead and explain each of these matches. Data lifecycle management refers to the overall strategy and tools used to ensure that necessary content is retained and obsolete data is disposed of efficiently. Retention policies apply standardized rules across sites or mailboxes, helping organizations manage data at scale. Meanwhile, retention labels are more targeted, allowing organizations to apply rules to individual items like specific emails or documents. Now, retain only ensures that content is preserved either indefinitely or for a set duration without deleting it. In contrast, delete only means content is removed permanently once its time is up. Retain and then delete is a combined approach where content is held for a period to meet compliance or business needs and then automatically removed to minimize risks. This flexible approach allows organizations to meet various legal, regulatory, and operational requirements without manual intervention. Fill in the blanks by selecting the correct options from the drop-down menus. An assessment groups controls from a regulation or standard and shows progress through an assessment score. Admins can use pre-built assessments or create custom assessments tailored to their organization. Let's walk through what each of these terms means in this context. An assessment in Microsoft compliance tools is a collection of control requirements grouped under a specific standard or regulation, like GDPR, NIST, or ISO 27001. It serves as a framework for tracking and managing compliance tasks. The assessment score gives a measurable view of how much progress an organization has made in addressing the controls defined in the assessment. It reflects the percentage of implemented and tested controls, providing a clear sense of compliance readiness. Pre-built assessments are ready-made templates based on common regulations. They save time by mapping out typical requirements and controls that apply to well-known compliance frameworks. Meanwhile, custom assessments give flexibility. Organizations can define their own standards or modify existing templates to align with internal policies, industry-specific standards, or local regulatory needs. This structure empowers organizations to monitor compliance proactively while tailoring the process to their unique regulatory environment. Fill in the blanks by selecting the correct options from the drop-down menus. Adaptive access control modifies access based on risk and behavior, while user and entity behavior analytics detects anomalies like impossible travel. Let's now clarify how both of these security features work together to enhance protection. Adaptive access control AAC helps organizations dynamically adjust access permissions in real time. It considers contextual signals such as user location, device posture, and risk level. For example, if a user is signing in from a new country or an unknown device, access might be limited or require multi-factor authentication. This prevents unauthorized access while minimizing friction for legitimate users. User and Entity Behavior Analytics, UEBA, focuses on behavior monitoring. It tracks user actions over time and flags anomalies that deviate from normal patterns, such as signing in from two geographically distant locations within minutes, known as impossible travel. This helps identify potential account compromise or insider threats. By combining AAC for real-time access decisions and UABA for deep behavior analysis, organizations can enforce smarter security policies tailored to actual risk. Fill in the blanks by selecting the correct options from the drop-down menus. Priva, consent management, allows organizations to create custom consent models with support for language translation and regional deployment. Let's break down how this works and why each selected option is correct. Consent management in Microsoft Priva helps organizations automate the process of requesting, capturing, and managing user consent at scale. It ensures compliance with privacy laws by giving individuals control over their personal data and consent preferences. Custom consent models let organizations tailor consent experiences to their unique needs. This includes defining how and when consent is requested, what it applies to, and how it's recorded, ensuring flexibility across business units, services, or jurisdictions. Finally, language translation and regional deployment are key for global operations. These features allow the same consent process to be localized by geography or language, ensuring that users in different countries understand what they're agreeing to, in compliance with region-specific privacy laws like GDPR or CCPA. In contrast, terms like risk dashboards, password vaults, or network segmentation are unrelated to user consent workflows and pertain to other security domains. This reinforces why the selected choices are the most accurate for data privacy management under Microsoft Priva. For each statement below, indicate whether the answer is true or false. Retention policies can be applied to multiple locations or users simultaneously. True. A single email or document can have multiple retention labels assigned at the same time. False. Retention labels support automatic application based on defined conditions. True retention labels do not support disposition review. False. Let's take a moment to explain each statement. Retention policies can be scoped to multiple services such as Exchange, SharePoint, and OneDrive, or applied to groups of users, making this statement true. Saying that a single item can have multiple retention labels is false. Microsoft 365 supports assigning only one retention label per item, ensuring that retention behavior is consistent and manageable. Retention labels can indeed be applied automatically based on pre-configured conditions like sensitive info types or content keywords, so that's true. Finally, the claim that retention labels do not support disposition review is false. Retention labels can trigger disposition review processes before permanent deletion, enabling manual review of content when needed. For each statement below, indicate whether it is true or false. Microsoft uses customer data to enhance services and personalize user experiences. True. Microsoft allows users to configure how their data is shared with advertising partners. False transparency includes clearly stating how customer data is collected and used. True, no content-based targeting means Microsoft may still scan files for internal product development insights. False. Let's take a moment to explain each statement. First, Microsoft applies the benefits to you principle, meaning customer data is used to improve service functionality and deliver a more personalized experience, making the statement true. The second statement is false. Microsoft does not share customer data with advertising partners and therefore does not offer any configuration options to manage such sharing. Transparency is a core Microsoft value, and this includes clearly informing users what data is collected, why it is collected, and how it is used. That makes the third statement true. Lastly, the fourth statement is false because when content-based targeting is disabled, Microsoft does not scan files, not even for internal product development or analytics purposes. This reinforces their privacy-first approach. For each statement below, indicate whether it is true or false. Private privacy assessments are tied to specific legal regulations and cannot be used generally. False subject rights requests in Priva can be processed for data located outside Microsoft 365. True, Priva policies can detect permissions that are overly broad or not properly maintained. True tracker scanning replaces the need for cookie consent notices. False. Let's take a moment to explain each statement. The first statement is false. Private privacy assessments are not tied to one regulation. They're flexible and can be used across various legal frameworks to evaluate privacy risks and practices broadly. The second statement is true. Subject rights requests in Priva, especially in Preview, allow organizations to handle requests for data, even if that data resides outside Microsoft 365 environments. The third statement is also true. Priva includes policies that assess whether access permissions are too broad or misconfigured, helping organizations reduce the risk of data exposure. The last statement is false. While tracker scanning helps identify web trackers, it does not remove the legal requirement to display or collect user consent for cookies via notices. Cookie compliance remains mandatory under regulations like GDPR. Arrange the process of responding to a compromised user detected by Defender for Identity. Instruction. Drag and drop the items into the correct order, starting with the first step at the top. Receive alert in Defender Portal. Investigate user timeline and activity. Disable user in Active Directory. Reset user password. Mark user as compromised in Microsoft Entra. Let's go ahead and explain each of these steps. When Defender for Identity detects a suspicious user, the first thing that happens is an alert is generated in the Defender portal. This is where security analysts begin their investigation. After receiving the alert, the next step is to investigate the user timeline and activity. This involves looking into what the user did before and after the suspicious behavior was detected. For instance, did they try to access sensitive files or move laterally across systems? Once the analyst confirms the compromise, the immediate action is to disable the user in Active Directory. This prevents the attacker or compromised user from continuing any harmful activity within the environment. With the account disabled, it's then time to reset the user's password. This ensures that even if the attacker still knows the original credentials, they can no longer access the account. Lastly, the user is marked as compromised in Microsoft Entra. This triggers protections like re-authentication prompts or stricter conditional access policies if the user attempts to sign in again. By following this structured response flow, organizations can contain identity-based threats efficiently and reduce the risk of further compromise. A security analyst wants to investigate how a phishing message moved through Microsoft 365, including whether it was blocked, deferred, or delivered. Which two features are appropriate for this task? Select two answers. A. Message trace. B. Zap. C. Safe attachments. D. Threat Explorer. The correct answers are A. Message trace and D. Threat Explorer. Let's take a moment to explain why. Message Trace is a critical tool within Microsoft 365 that provides visibility into the flow of email messages. It helps analysts understand exactly what happened to a message, whether it was delivered, blocked, or redirected. This makes it ideal for tracing the movement of phishing emails. Meanwhile, Threat Explorer is designed for deep threat analysis. It allows security analysts to review email threats, assess user impact, and even start automated remediation. This tool provides context and detail around how threats interact with users and systems. Now let's look at the incorrect choices. Zap, or zero-hour auto-purge, retroactively removes phishing or malicious messages after delivery. However, it doesn't help trace the delivery route or status, which is the analyst's main goal here. Safe Attachments scans attachments in real time to block threats before delivery. While it plays a vital role in prevention, it doesn't help investigate what happened to a specific message after it was sent. So in summary, for investigating message flow and tracing phishing emails within Microsoft 365, Message Trace and Threat Explorer are the most suitable tools. Which two actions are possible when using Intel Explorer? Select two answers. A. Search using a CVE ID. B. Trigger device compliance reset. C. Set sensitivity labels for endpoints. D. Find IOCs linked to a tool or actor. The correct answers are A. Search using a CVE ID and D. Find IOCs linked to a tool or actor. Let's walk through the reasoning behind these choices. Intel Explorer is a threat intelligence platform that allows security teams to search for and analyze potential cyber threats. One key feature is the ability to search using a CVE ID, which helps teams look up known vulnerabilities using their assigned identifiers. This is especially useful when trying to assess exposure to published threats. Another powerful function is the ability to find indicators of compromise, IOCs, linked to a specific tool or actor. This allows analysts to explore threat actors or malware families, uncovering patterns and behavior based on curated intelligence. Now, why are the other options incorrect? Trigger device compliance reset is a function specific to Microsoft Intune, which handles device configuration and compliance, not part of Intel Explorer. Set sensitivity labels for endpoints is typically done through Microsoft Purview or Entra to classify and protect data, not a capability offered within Intel Explorer. So when using Intel Explorer, the key actions available revolve around threat intelligence and investigation, not device or data configuration tasks. During the investigate step of the communication compliance workflow, what actions can admins perform? Select two answers. A. Tag messages as false positives. B. Review user message history. C. Use filters to narrow alerts. D. Create new compliance policies. The correct answers are B. Review user message history, and C. Use filters to narrow alerts. Let's take a moment to explain why these are the right choices. When administrators are in the investigate phase of the communication compliance workflow, their goal is to dig deeper into any flagged activity. So first, reviewing user message history allows them to examine the context around suspicious messages. This deeper look helps determine whether the communication truly violates policy or if it's been misunderstood. Next, using filters to narrow alerts is equally important. Filtering helps admins cut through noise by refining the scope of what they're analyzing. For example, they may filter by user, date, or policy to quickly pinpoint relevant alerts and streamline the investigation. Now let's talk about the incorrect choices. Tagging messages as false positives is something that happens during the remediation step, not while investigating. It's about making decisions after analysis is complete. Creating new compliance policies is a configuration task done ahead of time, not part of the active investigation workflow. That process happens during the setup phase when defining what to monitor. And in summary, investigation is about analyzing what's already occurred, not setting up or resolving it. That's why only B and C fit within this specific step of the compliance process. When content under retention policy is edited or deleted by users, what does Microsoft Purview do? Select one answer. A. Keeps a copy in a secure location not visible to most users. B. Deletes the content immediately. C. Allows users to recover deleted content from recycle bin. D. Sends a notification to the compliance officer. The correct answer is A. Keeps a copy in a secure location not visible to most users. Let's take a moment to explain this behavior. When a file governed by a retention policy is modified or deleted, Microsoft Purview doesn't just let it vanish. Instead, it quietly retains a copy in a secure hidden location. This ensures compliance with your organization's retention obligations, even if a user tries to bypass them, intentionally or otherwise. Now, some might think that Microsoft immediately deletes the content when it's edited or removed, but that's not the case. Shell retention policies override deletion attempts, preserving the original content securely. Also, while you may expect users to retrieve that deleted content from the recycle bin, this secure copy is not visible or recoverable by most users. It's designed for compliance and e-discovery, not casual recovery. Lastly, Microsoft Purview doesn't automatically notify compliance officers every time someone deletes or edits content. Notifications aren't part of the default retention process. So ultimately, retention policies are all about quietly preserving data behind the scenes, ensuring that nothing critical is lost before its retention period ends. What does private tracker scanning help organizations do? Select one answer. A. Detect network intrusions. B. Monitor employee emails. C. Identify web tracking technologies. D. Encrypt personal data. The correct answer is C. Identify web tracking technologies. Let's take a moment to explain what makes this the correct choice. Private tracker scanning is designed to help organizations identify cookies and trackers that may be present on their websites. This functionality is key for maintaining privacy compliance, especially with regulations like GDPR or CCPA, where transparency in web tracking is a requirement. Now, while detecting network intrusions might sound related to security, that function falls under cybersecurity solutions like Microsoft Defender, not Priva. Similarly, monitoring employee emails involves surveillance, which is outside Priva's intended use. Priva focuses on privacy, not employee tracking. And although encryption is important in protecting personal data, private tracker scanning itself does not handle encryption tasks. It focuses on revealing where data might be tracked, rather than securing it via encryption. So, in essence, tracker scanning equips organizations to stay compliant by making hidden tracking technologies more visible. Your SOC team wants to reduce risk by focusing only on the most dangerous and actively exploited vulnerabilities. You also want to consider breach likelihood and critical assets. Which capability will best meet this goal? Select one answer. A. Baseline assessment. B. Risk-based intelligent prioritization. C. Secure email gateway. D. Device compliance policy. The correct answer, B. Risk-based intelligent prioritization. Now let's walk through why this is the best option. Risk-based intelligent prioritization helps your security operations team focus on what truly matters by aligning vulnerability prioritization with real-world threat intelligence. It takes into account whether a vulnerability is being actively exploited, how likely it is to lead to a breach, and how critical the affected assets are. This ensures that resources are directed toward the most impactful risks. On the other hand, baseline assessment is useful for evaluating compliance with best practices, but it doesn't prioritize based on threat likelihood or asset importance. Secure Email Gateway is primarily about filtering malicious emails and is part of Defender for Office 365. While important, it doesn't address vulnerability prioritization. Lastly, device compliance policy relates to Intune and helps ensure devices meet organizational requirements. However, it doesn't assist with ranking vulnerabilities by threat level. So for strategic threat reduction with precision, risk-based intelligent prioritization is the most suitable approach. You're reviewing a suspicious PowerShell execution. You want to quickly determine whether the script is benign or malicious without using external tools. Which Copilot feature should you use? Select one answer. A. KQL Assistant. B. Device summary. C. Data connectors. D. Script analysis. The correct answer is D. Script analysis. Now let's break down why this is the right choice. Script analysis is a built-in Copilot feature within Defender XDR that uses AI to evaluate the logic and intent of PowerShell scripts and other code. It's specifically designed to help analysts determine whether a script is safe or poses a threat, all without leaving the Defender environment or relying on third-party tools. On the other hand, KQL Assistant is useful for translating and building hunting queries, but doesn't analyze script content or behavior. Device Summary gives you an overview of device behavior and recent activity, which can be useful in investigations, but it doesn't evaluate scripts. Data connectors help you bring in data from external sources into Microsoft Sentinel or Defender XDR, but again, they don't help in understanding the nature of a script. So if you're trying to quickly classify a script as malicious or benign directly in your workflow, script analysis is the Copilot tool to reach for. Which principle ensures that Microsoft never scans personal emails, chats, or files for advertising purposes? Select one answer. A. No content-based targeting. B. Benefits to you. C. Security. D. Control. The correct answer is A. No content-based targeting. Now let's understand why this is the correct choice. No content-based targeting is the principle that guarantees Microsoft does not use personal data, such as emails, chats, or files, for advertising, research, or marketing. This commitment is fundamental to Microsoft's data privacy approach and helps maintain user trust. On the other hand, benefits to you is a principle focused on using customer data to personalize services and enhance user experience, but it doesn't place limitations on advertising. Security refers broadly to how Microsoft protects data from threats like breaches and unauthorized access. While essential, it does govern how data is used for targeting. Control, lastly, gives users permission settings and control over their data, but it doesn't prohibit content-based scanning for ads. So, if you're asked about what policy protects users from having their communications scanned for ad purposes, the right and only answer is no content-based targeting. Match each Microsoft 365 support option to its correct description. Each item may be used once or more than once. Collaborate with others and solve problems via user forums and online communities. Community-based support. Access the Microsoft 365 Admin Center's help pane for articles and self-guided troubleshooting. Self-help. Contact Microsoft for help with technical, billing, or subscription issues using multiple communication channels. Web chat, email, and phone support. Get help with understanding features, benefits, and purchasing decisions before subscribing. Pre-sales support. A free onboarding and adoption service for eligible Microsoft 365 customers. Fast Track offers enterprise-wide support, including advisory, technical, and training services. Microsoft Unified Support. Now let's break this down together. First, community-based support is all about peer-to-peer learning. It gives users the chance to engage with others through Microsoft forums and discussions to find shared solutions. Think of it like an online study group. Next, self-help is straightforward. Within the Microsoft 365 Admin Center, there's a help pane loaded with articles and troubleshooting guides. It's perfect when you want to find answers on your own without contacting support. Then we have web chat, email, and phone support. This is the go-to when something goes wrong with billing or subscriptions and you need direct assistance from Microsoft. It's their hands-on customer service channel. Now, when you're exploring Microsoft 365 options and need to know what to buy, that's where pre-sales support comes in. This team helps you evaluate offerings based on your needs before you commit. Fast Track is an adoption service. It's ideal for eligible organizations looking for help with onboarding and user enablement. It's like having a guided tour when you're new to a city. Finally, Microsoft Unified Support is the full package solution. It's enterprise-grade and includes technical, advisory, and training services designed for organizations with complex needs. And that's how each support option fits its purpose in the Microsoft 365 ecosystem. Fill in the blanks by selecting the correct options in the drop-down menus. The process of adjusting the number or size of cloud resources to meet changing demand is known as scalability. Let's break that down. Scalability is a key feature of cloud computing. It refers to the cloud's ability to increase or decrease resources, like storage or computing power, based on current demand. For instance, during a product launch or holiday season, an e-commerce site might need more server capacity. Cloud platforms like Microsoft Azure automatically scale resources up to handle traffic and scale them back down to reduce costs during low activity. By contrast, fragmentation is a data inefficiency term. Privatization refers to governance or ownership, and integration is about linking systems together, not adjusting their size or capacity. So the correct term here is scalability. Your organization has recently started using Microsoft 365 and has different departments requiring different levels of access to the platform's features. As the IT admin, you need to assign Microsoft 365 licenses to users in a secure and efficient manner. Which of the following actions should you take to ensure each department gets access to the right apps in Microsoft 365? Select two answers. A. Assign Microsoft 365 licenses based on departmental needs. B. Use the Microsoft 365 Admin Center to manually assign licenses and configure groups. C. Use the Microsoft 365 User Portal for direct user access. D. Set up role-based access control to restrict user access to apps. The correct answers are A. Assign Microsoft 365 licenses based on departmental needs. B. Use the Microsoft 365 Admin Center to manually assign licenses and configure groups. Now let's explain why these are correct. First, assigning licenses based on departmental needs ensures that each user gets only the tools they require. For instance, marketing teams may need collaboration apps like Teams and Stream, while accounting may need Excel and OneDrive for secure file handling. Second, the Microsoft 365 Admin Center allows you to manage license distribution and group configurations with precision. You can tailor access for each department, enhancing both security and productivity. However, the user portal is primarily for users to access apps they've already been assigned. It doesn't allow license management. Additionally, while role-based access control is important for permissions within apps, it doesn't replace the foundational step of license assignment. So in practice, your first move is assigning the right licenses using the Admin Center, mapped to department-specific needs. Fill in the blanks by selecting the correct options from the drop-down menus. Microsoft 365 includes Office productivity apps, device management, and identity and security solutions under one subscription. Let's go through why each of these is correct. First, Office productivity apps are foundational to Microsoft 365. These include Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Outlook, tools that power daily productivity in businesses, schools, and institutions worldwide. Next, device management is another key component enabled through Microsoft Intune. It allows administrators to secure and manage users' devices across various platforms, making it essential for compliance and remote management. Finally, identity and security solutions are provided through Microsoft Entra ID and Microsoft EMS. These tools handle secure sign-ins, access controls, and protection against threats, ensuring that users and data stay safe. In contrast, cloud hosting plans don't apply here because Microsoft 365 isn't a cloud infrastructure platform like Azure. Chat-only services fall short because Microsoft 365 includes much more than just Microsoft Teams. One-time installation tools are also incorrect, as Microsoft 365 operates on a subscription basis rather than a one-time setup. So when you think of Microsoft 365, think beyond email and chat. It's a complete ecosystem of apps, device control, and secure access management.